You know, people, I guess forever I will be the redneck guy. I was just doing a tour with Larry the Cable Guy and Bill Engvall, and I was sitting in the dressing room one night doing the redneck calendar, the Page a Day calendar, and Larry popped in my room. He goes, "How long you been doing them things?" And I said, "I wrote the first one in 1990, so what, 23 years, I guess." And he goes, "How do you keep coming up with redneck jokes?" And I looked at him, I said, "There's no research going on. It is my family." To that end, let me share this story with you. Back early in the fall, my wife and I got an invitation to my cousin Sherry's wedding in Alabama. And we got the feeling that it was a hurry-up wedding, because the invitation was a fax. And at the bottom they had written BYOLC, which we learned meant bring your own lawn chair, because they were getting married in her parents' backyard, because I guess the OBGYN had told them they didn't have 6 weeks to wait on a church. So my mom was at my house that day, so I started making jokes about it being a hurry-up wedding. Well, my mother got mad. My mother said, "Don't you dare say anything about Sherry. She is the sweetest girl alive. She never tells anybody no about anything." Pretty much why we're having to go to Alabama now. But my mother knows everything. So I said, "Mom, how did she even meet this guy?" And my mother said, "Well, they met in a laundromat." So you know right there it's anointed by God. Apparently, Sherry needed change for the dryer, and she said this guy, Dustin, came over and gave her half a roll of quarters. Just gave it to her. Which, by then, under Alabama law, I think she was required to have sex with him. So... But my mom wants to go to this wedding, and she doesn't drive on the interstate or through swamps, so she wants us to take her. And I can't tell my mom no, and so I'm like, all right, we'll go to the wedding. Well, immediately my mom starts pitching for us to stay at my Uncle Ray and Aunt Tina's house. And I don't want to do that because I'm allergic to ferrets. And so I say to my mom, I said, "Mom, why don't we just stop at the Motel 6 in Dothan, Alabama?" And my mother said, and I quote, "Well, I don't want people thinking we're uppity." Which in my family is a possibility. One year, my brother brought 3 buckets of Kentucky Fried Chicken to the family reunion, and all day long people were like, "What's up, Donald Trump?" So at the risk of being uppity, we stop at the Motel 6 in Dothan. And if I had known that it was chili cook-off weekend in Dothan, I would have called ahead and made a reservation because they only had 1 room available. And from the smell of it, some of the past chili cook-off winners had stayed there. But when the lady at the desk said 1 room, I'm thinking in my mind 2 double beds. Well, we get to the room and there is 1 queen-size bed for me, my wife, and my mother. And my wife's not real happy because she knows she's in the middle. Yeah, she's the Berlin Wall. Because if I wake up spooning with the wrong person, it is going to take years of therapy to get me back right again. Well, you learn stuff when you're on the road. Well, that night I learned that the walls of the Motel 6 in Dothan, Alabama are apparently made out of toilet paper, because the couple in the room next to us liked each other a lot and loudly. And me, my wife, and my mother lay in that queen-size bed and listened to them like each other for an hour and a half. At which point my wife tapped me and said, "You need to do something." I said, "I'm about to walk next door and ask for his autograph." An hour and a half? That's 3 years' work for me. Well, the next morning we're getting ready and I hear them leaving the room and I want to see them. You know, because you listen to it, you have this mental image. So I run over and I crack the door and peek out in the hall. Oh, Lord, I wish I'd never done it. Y'all, they were big uns. Big. And I think half the moaning and groaning was them trying to take their socks off. Well, we leave the Motel 6. We drive down to my Uncle Wayne's house. Cars are parked all down the street. So as we're walking up the driveway to the house, there's a pickup truck in the driveway. And I'm looking and it looks like somebody has passed out against a passenger window. And I'm like, what the heck? And I walk up. In the passenger seat of this truck with the seatbelt on is a dead deer. You can't make this up. And the doors are locked. I go in the house. I said, what's the story with the deer in the truck? My cousin Scott said, we hid it on the way over here, but I didn't want to leave it in the bed because I thought somebody might steal it. He thinks somebody's going to steal a dead deer at the family wedding. Well, we visit a little while, then they tell everybody to grab their lawn chairs. We go out in the backyard where they're going to have the ceremony. They have decided that the altar for the wedding is going to be the redwood deck of the above-ground pool. You might be a redneck. And the entire pool and deck are covered in colored Christmas lights. So I leaned over to my brother. I said, hey, I wonder how long it took to put up the wedding decorations. And my brother said, well, we were here 2 years ago and they were up then, so I don't think they ever come down. So they get ready for the ceremony. My cousin Sherry comes out in a snow white dress, 8 months pregnant, in a snow white dress. I'm looking for a big star or 3 wise men riding camels up the driveway or something. The irony's lost on my mother, who tapped me and said, that's the same dress her mother got married in. And I'm doing the math, and the only answer I can come up with is ho squared. So, well, we get through the ceremony. The guy that was the best man is now the DJ. He's wearing his tuxedo pants and no shirt. He is lighting firecrackers with his cigarette and throwing them at Sherry's grandmother's feet just to hear her cuss. And she's good. Sherry's mother, Donna, is walking around with a styrofoam cooler that's filled with Ziploc bags of birdseed because she said Sherry read online that if you throw rice, the birds will eat it, and then when they drink water, that rice will expand and it'll kill the birds. So she wants everybody to throw birdseed, which we did. And to this day, I haven't had the heart to tell her 2 hours after they left, her little brothers were in the front yard with pellet guns shooting the birds while they ate the birdseed. But they get in the car. Now, most people just drive off, not my relatives. They get in Dustin's Camaro and proceed to do donuts in my Uncle Wayne's yard. Third time around, her door flies open. I'm standing next to her grandmother, who threw her beer on the ground and said, if this lasts 6 months, I'll kiss a good man's ass. So, Jeff, where do you come up with all of those redneck jokes? And here's the other thing. I'm not only in a redneck and come from world-class rednecks, I'm married into world-class rednecks. My wife and her entire family are from the great state of Louisiana. So, anybody from Louisiana? Yeah? What do you think about this electricity? This is something else, isn't it? It's pretty cool. Don't touch it, it gets real hot. I just thought. Where are you from in Louisiana? South Louisiana. My wife's from New Orleans. You from like the Cajun country there? South Louisiana? Yeah. Greatest food on the planet Earth, Louisiana, is as long as you don't ask a lot of questions. As long as there's a ditch on the side of the road, nobody is going hungry in Louisiana. I've eaten with my wife's relatives. She's like, man, this is great. What is it? They're like, you don't want to know? Put your little more hot sauce on it. Keep chewing that city boy. Come on, give me a clue. Does it swim? Does it fly? Maybe it do and maybe it don't. You just keep eating. I've seen them hit boiling pots with a wooden spoon going, get back in there right now. Now, here's the other thing about crossing 50. When I was a kid, I used to think anybody that was 50 or older had... What the heck? I feel like I'm in Aerosmith or something. I'm a comedian, for God's sake. Is the house on fire? But I thought anybody that had crossed 50, they were like a fountain of knowledge that you could go and drink from. And then I got to be 50 and I went, well, that's not the case. Because like, oh no, are you smarter than a fifth grader? Like when I started doing that, people thought I was smart. And I'm like, y'all, if they didn't give me the blue cards, that's the shortest show in the history of television. First question, do you know the answer? No, neither do I. Good night, everybody. We had a lady on, it was like a third grade grammar question. It was something about an antonym. And she said, oh, I remember there were homonyms and synonyms and antonyms. She said, I can't remember the difference in them. Can you use it in a sentence? My Aunt Nim came over for Christmas dinner. But I started thinking about all the stuff that I didn't know, and it's a lot longer list than the stuff I do know. But it's stuff I thought I would know by now. I mean, I don't know how they know how long to make the cord for the first bungee jump at a new place. All right, Ed, let him jump! All right, Ed, shorten it up a little bit. Give his girlfriend a free t-shirt. I don't know why the dentist makes you lie to him. Every time I go to the dentist, he'll be looking at my mouth. He's like, oh, you have not been flossing every day, have you? No, not every day. Oh, let me think. The last time I flossed, you did it. I don't know who closes the door when the bus driver gets off. Don't think about that one too long. You get a headache, I promise. I don't know how women can lie down on the couch and take a nap without sticking their hand in the front of their pants. How do y'all do that? See, men have a sleep button located right there. Take our hand, put it on that button, and I don't know why the people with the worst breath always stand the closest to you when they talk. They're like, guess what? Oh, I don't know, you got a dirty diaper in your mouth? Can I tell you something? All right, but do it quick. I can only hold my breath for 30 seconds. And you always try to offer them like a piece of gum or a mint. They never take it. They're like, oh, no thanks. I don't like the way those taste. Yeah, I can see where you wouldn't prefer peppermint to that cat turd you're chewing on right now. Wow. I don't know why the bank leaves the vault door wide open, but change the 25-cent ink pen to the counter. And why does the drive-up banking window have directions written in Braille? And they do. Check it out the next time you're there. I don't know why I can't call the computer helpline and talk to somebody on this side of the planet. Every time I call the computer helpline to get, hello, this is Kevin. What is the problem you are currently experiencing? I'm sorry, what was your name? It is Kevin. Kevin. Wow, because if I had to guess, I would have bet your name had 2 less vowels than Kevin. What is the problem you're currently experiencing? Well, before I called you, it was that my computer was locked up, and now it's trying to understand a damn thing you're saying. And they won't tell you where they are. I'm like, where are you? I'm at my desk. Okay, but where is your desk? It's in my office. Okay, Kevin, let me put it this way. If your friend came over to hang out with you tonight and he showed up driving an elephant, would that be weird? See, we don't drive elephants here. I don't know why a new razor costs $6, but a pack of 8 replacement blades cost $2,000. Why are razor blades so expensive? You could put a kid through college by growing a beard. I think they're so expensive they've gotten complicated. You know, when I was a kid, it was one blade. You used it for a week, threw it away, got another. Now it's 5 blades. And the advertising agencies have convinced us every one of those blades has its own job. Blade number 1 walks up to the whisker and pretends to recognize it from high school. Blade number 2 runs behind it and thumps it over the head with a beer bottle. Blade number 3 ties its hands together with duct tape, while blade number 4 warns the other whiskers to stay out of it or they're next. You know what I think's going on? I think it's just like those road crews. I think there is one blade doing all the work and there's 4 just standing around watching. Why you can't ride a bicycle anymore without dressing like Lance Armstrong in the Tour de France. Anybody remember when you could ride a bicycle wearing blue jeans and a t-shirt? You can't do it now. Gotta have the uni. And it's not just young athletic people, like fat and middle-aged guys look like the Michelin Man in a wetsuit. And he's got sponsor logos. Like, who's sponsoring you, Pop? Dunkin' Donuts, all right. Pedal on, doughboy, pedal on. I don't know why only rednecks are seeing UFOs. And here's the deal. You got to discount 90% of that stuff right off the top. Because my Uncle Jerry swore they had crop circles in their yard. Then we found out that his wife had called Goodwill and they had come and got the trampoline and the boat trailer. So, you know, mystery solved. But let's say there really were aliens and they really are coming to Earth and they didn't want people to know that they were coming to Earth. It makes sense they would only reveal themselves to rednecks. A, we usually live out in the country, so there's not going to be a lot of witnesses. B, we have no credibility with the media. See, people might believe a scientist from UCLA if he saw one and said, well, they appeared to be bipods from a hydrogen and nitrogen-based environment whose primary respiratory organ was located within their moist, translucent epidermis. As opposed to Cletus in his overalls going, it looked like a giant booger with real skinny legs. I don't know why after 27 years of marriage, my wife continues to ask me, what do you want for your birthday? What do I always want for my birthday? Same thing every man on the planet wants for his birthday. The same thing every woman on the planet doesn't want for her birthday. Never once has my wife said, you know what, forget the flowers, forget the presents, why don't you just lock the door and take me to Squeal Town? But it's all any man wants. You can be visiting your grandpa in the nursing home and be like, happy birthday, Papa. Is today my birthday? It sure is. Well, help me get my pants off. I don't know why a dog can eat its own vomit, gobble up cat poop, and lick its rear end for hours and be totally fine, but if he eats half a candy bar, he dies. They need to renegotiate that one. I don't know why in this age of sexual equality, there are still some jobs that are the man's job or the woman's job. Like if there's a noise in the house in the middle of the night, whose job is it to check that out? Man. Yeah. Never see this. Phyllis. Phyllis. Run downstairs, see what that noise was. Hey, bring me back a piece of chicken, okay? Now, if there's a noise in the house in the middle of the night, it's the man checking it out. In his underwear, carrying a baseball bat. Because that is the official uniform of suspicious noises, underpants and a baseball. I don't know what we're hoping to find. Some guy in the living room in his underwear with a ball. And my dad didn't even need the baseball bat because my dad wore those giant boxer shorts that were always gapped open in the front. Oh, that gap would be like a taser to a thief. Shut the gap! Shut the gap! Here, take my wallet. Just shut that gap!
And not only am am I a redneck? I'm married into them, too. Married into a special breed of them. My wife and her entire family are from the great state of Louisiana. We were down there about 6 or 7 months ago. My wife's cousin got married down in Baton Rouge, so we went down for the wedding. And we had my wife's entire family together for the rehearsal dinner at Hooters. If I'm lying, I'm dying. And our waitress that night was qualified to work there. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure she was on a scholarship. But the first time she walked up to the table, my wife's Uncle Bud looked at her and went, "Woo, woo, where'd you get them things, girl?" I thought, oh, she's gonna get mad. And she didn't. She was so cool. She said, "I bought them." And then Bud's wife Lois said, "You know, I've been thinking about buying me some." And Bud turned to Lois and said, "You are 62 years old. You getting a boob job would be like hanging a new chandelier in a haunted house." She said, "Well, I figured if I put some new lights in the house, you might stay in it longer than 2 minutes." See, women are smart, and women keep men confused. We do, because like a lot of times men and women can say the exact same thing to each other and get totally opposite responses. Like a woman could say to a man, "I'm not wearing any underwear." Man's first thought is, "All right, might get lucky." But if a man says to a woman, "I'm not wearing any underwear," her first thought is, "Oh no, I'm gonna have to wash those pants twice." Speaking of blurry vision, I got to point this out. I saw a billboard here in Washington, D.C. advertising for the vision correction surgery. The billboard claimed that they have the cheapest LASIK in town. And I'm thinking, if you're going to be operating on my eyeballs with a laser beam, I don't want the cheapest in town. I want somebody that takes a little pride in their work. I don't want to be walking around hanging on to a German Shepherd by a harness bragging, "I just saved a bundle on my LASIK surgery." And if they decided to go with cheapest in town, what slogan did they pass up? "Hey, some of our patients actually kind of see a little bit better." If it doesn't work, think of the money you'll save on light bulbs. I mean, I like saving money. I just don't think medical procedures are where you want to do it. I don't want the cheapest vasectomy in town. Climbing into a truck behind a convenience store and the guy going, "You got the 20 bucks? All right, listen, bite down on this rag so you don't scream. I can't have the neighbors calling the police again." And a couple of slogans with a vasectomy I wouldn't want to hear, like, "half off," "buy one, get one free." I don't even know how that would work. "Everything must go." No, most of it better be staying, Rufus. I am thrilled. I am thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled that y'all are here. Usually, when I'm up here, I'm going for laughs, but I look at you people eating and I'm thinking maybe I should try to get somebody to squirt mashed potatoes out their nose or something. But thank you for your time and your money. I think it's very cool that it's a date night. I love to take my girlfriend on date nights, and I've been married to her for 38 years. So, but I'm still dating her, trying to win her over. You know, when David was talking about some of the things the foundation benefits, you realize the power of prayer. And I know it firsthand in my life, because not long ago, my mother's flip phone finally broke. We've been praying for that 14 years, so don't give up. Things will happen on God's time. And so we ended up getting my 86-year-old mother her very first iPhone. And
If you were to say to me tonight, hey Jeff, would you rather teach your mother how to text or teach your dog how to wipe his butt? I would say, hand me the toilet paper. Let's give that a shot. Teaching my 86-year-old mother to text has been a little bit of a challenge. And my daughters, bless their heart, they're texting her, trying to encourage her and everything. And she called me not long ago. She goes, I have a question. I said, what is it, Mom? She goes, what is low? I said, Mom, I have no idea what you're talking about. She said, Jewel sent me a text, and at the end of it, it said low. I said, how you spell it, Mom? She said, LOL. I said, that's not low. I said, that's laugh out loud. I said, what young people do, since they text so much, instead of typing everything out, they'll just use the initials. So IDK is I don't know, OTW is on the way. I said, that's how they do it. Oh. A few weeks ago, I get a text one night from my mother. IYGTTGSINSK. I'm like, oh God, Mom's had a stroke. I called her up. I said, Mom, what did you just text me? She said, I was doing like the girls do. I said, if you go to the grocery store, I need some ketchup. Well, of course you did. Why didn't I see that? But, you know, with my comedy, people always ask, where do you come up with stuff? And I don't look for stuff. I assume if I think something, or my wife says something, or my family does something, other people are thinking and saying and doing the whole thing. And then COVID hit, and I went 2.5 years without getting to do this at all. And I really missed it. I missed traveling. I grew up in Hapeville, Georgia. I'd never been anywhere through comedy. I've been to all 50 states. And my wife will cherry pick my gigs and decide where she wants to go. And then all of a sudden we didn't go anywhere for a couple of years, and she really missed the travel. So when it became evident we weren't going to go anywhere, my wife ordered like 4 or 5 travel magazines, and she was kind of living vicariously through them. So one night I'm sitting around the house and I'm flipping through one of those magazines, and I saw an article in there that was written by a woman trying to teach other women how to pack for a 10-day trip using only a carry-on suitcase. Let me repeat that. A woman packing for 10 days using only a carry-on suitcase. And I thought, what woman is she talking about? Barbie? My wife couldn't pack for a nudist colony in a carry-on suitcase. And now the airport only lets you take 1 carry-on. Well, if I'm with my wife, she has 2, and I have whatever I can fit in my pockets. But I thought it was interesting because we live in a world where people try to make everything you say sexist. I thought the article was interesting because it was only written to women. She didn't say men. Because I think men could you do 10 days in a carry-on? I could. You might be burning the socks and the underwear, but I could do it. Because I think most men pack like I do. This is the way I pack. I go in my closet and I think, okay, I'm going to be out 3 days. 3 days means 3 pairs of socks, 3 pairs of underwear, 3 shirts, another pair of blue jeans in case I spill something on these, toothbrush, razor blade, ready to go. 10 seconds of well thought out packing. That's how I pack. Now, when I go on vacation with my wife, and let me say this up front, I love being on vacation with my wife. Because my wife is a lot more friendly on vacation than she is at home. Something about having numbers on the door improves her attitude. Same woman that won't look at me twice at home, you get numbers on the door, she is hanging the trapeze before the bellhops to the ice machine. Love being on vacation with this girl. It's getting to vacation that is the problem, because it takes her longer than 10 seconds to pack. In fact, it takes her days to pack. And I finally figured out why. It's because she has outfits. Not a man in this room has an outfit. My wife's got an outfit for the airport. This is my airport outfit. Doesn't bind, doesn't cling. Shoes are easy on, easy off through security. I love this airport outfit. She has an outfit picked out for every single day we are going to be gone, plus additional outfits in case we go out somewhere nice to dinner. She's got sleepwear, swimwear, exercise wear, lounge around wear. So there's a ton of clothes that have a shot at making her vacation team. So what she will do is about 3 days before we're supposed to leave, she'll start pulling clothes out. And she'll lay them on the bed like flat Stanley mannequins. And she just stares at them. Sometimes she'll call me and come here and need your help. Okay, I am down to these 2 outfits. Which one do you like the best? One on the left. Are you kidding me? What's wrong with the one on the right? There's nothing wrong with it. I like that one on the left. I knew I shouldn't have called you. I love the one on the right. You know what? Now that I really think about it, I love the one on the right. No, you don't. You're just saying that. Now I don't know what to do. I know what to do. I'm going to go jump in front of a bus. Why don't you stand here and stare at this for a while? See, because with me, once my clothes are packed, I'm packed. With my wife, the clothes, that's just the foundation. Her packet, it's like an archaeological dig. There's many, many layers to it. Because once she has the clothes picked out, now she has to go back and pick out the jewelry that goes with each particular outfit. These ladies are like, yes, she does. If you watch court TV, that's what they call the jewelry selection process. Next level is the shoes. He just got the jewelry selection process. I can take as much time as you need, honestly. The shoes take a long time. She spends longer picking shoes for vacation than we spent picking names for our children. I mean, my wife loves shoes. I hope to God she never has to choose between me and her shoes. Because I can see the surgeon going, well, Miss Foxworthy, we can save Jeff's life. But in order to do it, you would have to get rid of all of your shoes. He said he wants to be cremated. I'm going to need some new shoes for that ceremony. Next level is the electronics, because one time we went somewhere and the hotel didn't have a hairdryer. Well, that was a world crisis. So now my wife never packs a suitcase without packing a hairdryer. But then she'll pack a hair curler and a hair straightener. I'm like, they cancel each other out. Then she packs that lighted makeup mirror where one side has 12 times magnification. Nobody needs to look at their face magnified 12 times. At 12 times magnification, a wrinkle looks like an irrigation ditch, a blackhead looks like a manhole cover, and God forbid she find a chin hair. You're not getting a girl out of the room that sees something on her chin that looks like the anchor rope to a battleship. I'm telling you that right now. Do you know I've never ever looked at my face in the 12 times magnification mirror. All right, to be completely honest, a couple of times I did get out of the shower and I paused in front of it just for a minute. Buenos dias, señor enchilada grande. Next level, total feminine phenomena, is the just-in-case level. Like my wife will always pack a little raincoat and a travel umbrella just in case it rains. I'm like, baby, I checked the forecast. There's less than a 5% chance any day we're going to be there. Okay, fine. I don't know what you're going to do if it rains. I do. I'll probably go back inside. She always packs a sweater or a light jacket just in case it gets cold at night, as it so often does in Orlando in July.
Anybody else have a wife or girlfriend that will, this is what my wife will do. She will take a little soft-sided collapsible suitcase and pack it inside of the hard-sided suitcase, just in case I buy something. And I've never looked in that soft-sided suitcase. I'm willing to bet there's a smaller soft-sided suitcase inside of it. She'll always pack like a gallon Ziploc bag full of medicine, just in case somebody gets sick. One time I'm playing in Buffalo. It's like February. They had snow up to here. I have a little bit of a headache. I go and zip the medicine bag. We've got malaria pills. Thankfully missed the great malaria outbreak in Buffalo. And I said, baby, I love you to death. I said, this is where your packing just goes off the rails. So the next time we're getting ready to go on vacation, I walk in the bedroom and I caught her rooting through my suitcase. And she goes, She pulls out a 5-pound bag of oats, holds it up. She goes, what is this for? I said, oh, that. I said, that is just in case the 2 donkeys we're going to need to carry your luggage get hungry while we're gone. And actually, she packs light for airline travel as opposed to if we go on vacation in the car. Now, if we go on vacation in the car, there's a fine line between packing and moving. But my wife and daughters, they think it is their job to fill that SUV to the top. And the way they pack would make a man lay on the floor and wet himself. They will bring out a bag with bread and potato chips, put it on the bottom, then put 3 suitcases on top of it. I'm like, let me do this, please. Because men care about, there's an art to packing a car, isn't there? Total art. My daddy could get a house full of furniture into the trunk of a Buick. Hold the jack, hand me the piano. I got this son of a gun, you know. And I'm like my daddy too. Once I get that car packed the way I like it, I'm ready to go. Not my wife. I walk in the house like, all right, car's packed, let's do it. Oh, we can't go yet. What do you mean we can't go? Car's packed, let's go. No, I got to straighten up the house. Do what? Well, I'm not going to be able to have a good time if I know I'm going to be coming back to a messy house. Why didn't you straighten it up the last couple of days? Because I had to pack. Which in a nutshell is why men die before women. Because we want to. You know, I think sometimes when people invite me to speak at their thing, I think people think I'm smart because I hosted Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader for years. And that people always want to talk about the show. What was your favorite part of doing that show? I was like the part where they handed me the card with the answers on it. Because I didn't know any of that stuff. I'm an idiot. One night we had a lady on, she had a 2nd grade grammar question. It was something about an antonym, and she goes, oh yes, she goes, I remember there were homonyms and synonyms and antonyms. She said, I can't remember the difference in them. Can you use it in a sentence? My Aunt and them came over for Christmas dinner. I'm an idiot. And when I started hosting that show, I realized just how many things I didn't know. So I literally got a notebook and I put it in my dressing room. And every day I would write down more things that I thought of that I didn't know. And they were stupid things like, I don't know how they know how long to make the cord for the first bungee jump at a new place. All right, Ed, let him jump. All right, Ed, shorten it up a little bit. Give his girlfriend a free t-shirt. I don't know why the dentist makes you lie to him. Every time you go to the dentist, my dentist will be looking at my mouth like, ooh, you have not been flossing every day, have you? No, not every day. Let me think. The last time I flossed, you did it. know why the bank leaves the vault door wide open, but changed the 25-cent ink pen to the counter. And why does the drive-up banking window have directions written in Braille? They do. Look at it next time you go to the bank. I don't know why the people with the worst breath always stand the closest to you when they talk. They're like, guess what? I don't know. You have a dirty diaper in your mouth? Can I tell you something? All right, but do it quick. I can only hold my breath for 30 seconds. And you always try to offer them a mint or a piece of gum. They never take it. They're like, oh, no thanks. Ooh, I don't like the way those taste. Yeah, I can see where you wouldn't prefer peppermint to that cat turd you're gnawing on right now. I don't know why you can't ride a bicycle anymore without dressing like Lance Armstrong in the Tour de France. Anybody remember when you could ride a bike wearing blue jeans and a t-shirt? Not anymore. Got to have the uni. And it's not just young athletic people. You got these fat middle-aged guys. They look like the Michelin Man in a wetsuit, and they've got sponsor logos. Who's sponsoring you, Pop? Dunkin' Donuts, all right. Pedal on, doughboy, pedal on. I don't know why my wife continues to ask every year, what do you want for your birthday? What do I always want for my birthday? What's every man in here want for his birthday? The same thing every woman in here doesn't want for her birthday. Never one time has my wife said, you know what, this year, forget the flowers, forget the presents. Why don't you just lock that door and take me to Squeal Town? What every guy wants. You could be visiting your 90-year-old grandpa in the nursing home, be like, happy birthday, Papa. Is today my birthday? It sure is. Well, help me get my pants off. I don't know why a dog can eat his own vomit, gobble up cat poop, and lick his rear end for hours and be totally fine. But if he eats half a candy bar, he dies. I don't know why in 2023 we still have jobs that we will call men's jobs or women's jobs. Like if there's a noise in the house in the middle of the night, whose job is it to go check out the noise? It's the man. Let's be honest. Yeah, you never see this. Phyllis. Phyllis. Run downstairs, see what that noise was. Hey, bring me back a piece of chicken, okay? Now, if there's a noise in the house in the middle of the night, it is the man checking it out. In his underwear, carrying a baseball bat. Because that is the official uniform of suspicious noises, underpants and a baseball bat. I don't know what we're hoping to find, some guy in the living room in his underwear with a ball. And my dad didn't even need the baseball bat, because my dad wore those gigantic boxer shorts that were always gapped open in the front. That gap was like a taser to a thief. Shut the gap, shut the gap. Here, take my wallet. Just shut that gap. I don't know why every time I get great tickets to a concert, I always end up being seated next to somebody that has to sing every song at the top of their lungs. So several years ago, Simon and Garfunkel came to Atlanta. My wife wanted to go. She had a couple of friends that wanted to go. Well, my mother-in-law wanted to go. Quick backstory on my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law has hearing aids that she refuses to wear because she thinks they don't look good. But because she doesn't wear them, she can't hear a lick. She talks louder than anybody on the planet. One night around Christmas time, we go to the movies. We're standing in the long line at the concession stand. My mother-in-law walks over to me and goes, "Don't look now, but the man behind us is cross-eyed as a bat." Which is bad for two reasons. One, you're embarrassed to death. And two, when somebody says something like that, yes, you've got to look, you know. Then I'm like, turn around, the guy's glaring at me. Well, he may not have been glaring at me, but he was glaring at somebody. So we go to Simon and Garfunkel. Somehow I end up being seated next to my mother-in-law. She doesn't have the hearing aids in. She sang every Simon and Garfunkel song, and she knew the words to none of them. Like a witch over Bubbles' daughter. Are you kidding? I will grease your pine. Grease your pine? That's what you got out of that? And my kids make fun of me. They're like, "Dad, don't ever stand up there and tell people things you don't know. If you don't know something, Google it." And to a point, they're right. I mean, when I was growing up, if you were watching TV and somebody goes, "What was that guy in?" You go, "Man, he looks familiar." That was it. Now you watch TV, somebody goes, "What was that guy in?" Somebody takes their phone and goes, "He was the janitor on Joey." And there are a ton of things you can Google. But I try to teach my daughters, I said, what you don't understand is there's a lot of things you can't Google. There's things you only learn through life experience. I call them the facts of life, things you can't Google. Like this, fact of life. If you are trying to get to the bathroom in an emergency situation, it is not a wise idea to unbutton your pants in transit in the effort to save a couple of seconds. Because the muscles that guard the floodgates will interpret the unbuttoning as the signal to abandon their post. And the 2 seconds you saved on the button are nullified by the hour and a half you spend mopping and doing laundry. Google won't tell you that. You learn that the hard way. Fact of life. Out of all of the cereals, Captain Crunch is the most time intensive. Here's what I'm talking about. You eat it too soon after you poured the milk on and you will rip the roof of your mouth to shreds. You wait too long after you pour the milk on and the captain will put a film on your teeth a wire brush can't get rid of. Fact of life. You can have a wife with long, beautiful hair, or you can be on time. Speaking of wives, fact of life. If your wife hints that she might be in the mood, your kids will sense it and won't go to bed for 3 years. Speaking of kids, fact of life, the more kids you have, the worse your parenting becomes. People that only have one child are making homemade baby food out of organic vegetables they're growing in their own backyard. Yeah, by the time that 4th kid rolls around, you're smoking a cigarette while you watch your toddler pull a year-old milk dud out from under the stove and eat it. Pick the cat hair off of it before you put it in your mouth, dummy. Fact of life, flying on an airplane makes you gassy. Nobody ever talks about this. Nobody acknowledges it. No, we just all take our roll-around suitcase and walk to baggage claim, popping them off like a trail horse. sorry, God. It was just a joke, all right? Fact of life. Women always have more questions than men have answers to. Great example. One night I got a text. The text simply said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. I go through the house. I found my wife. I said, hey, just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. She said, was he driving? I said, I don't know. I got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. She said, were Carol and the kids in the car with him? I said, I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. She said, were the people in the other car hurt too? I said, I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. She said, did they even have insurance? I said, I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. She said, what hospital did they take him to? I said, I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. She said, you don't know anything. What do you know? I said, I know you need to pray for Tom. I just got a text that he was in a bad wreck. Not holding anything back. That's all I got. Well, I have to get out of here because they have other things to do. And I have another show in November I need to get ready for. Again, thank y'all for being here and donating your money to people that's going to change their life. And I mean, that's the face of Jesus. That's why we're here, is to make other people love God, love each other. So thank you for doing that. And I have such a blessed life. I have been very blessed because I've loved what my gift was, and I don't know why I can do it. I can just do it. God gave me the gift, and I've been able to do a lot of things, whether it's hosting the show, I paint, I draw, I write books. But if you ever put a gun to my head and said, hey, you can't do but one, it would always be stand-up. I like seeing people. I like that instant reaction. The only negative thing I've ever found about being a stand-up comedian is you're on the road by yourself. And that's why doing something like the Blue Collar Comedy Tour was one of the most fun things I ever did, because it wasn't by myself. I was with 3 of my buddies, and every night we go, can y'all believe they're paying us to do this? This is crazy. And people always say, I bet y'all have a lot of funny stories from when you were on the road together. And there are, but I don't want to tell one-on-one the other guys because they're not here, to give their side. But in conclusion, let me share one comedy road story with you about me. So COVID started in 2020. So the summer of 2019, Larry, the cable guy, and I were doing a bunch of dates together that summer. And when you do summer dates, they're almost all outside. You're either doing amphitheaters or country music festivals or, fairs. You're always outside, and you get used to being hot. We did a music festival in Phoenix. It was 112 when we went on stage. And the promoter was trying to make us feel better. He goes, come on, fellas, it's a dry heat. I said, so is the electric chair. It's 112 degrees, But I don't sweat very much. I mean, you can see I don't sweat when I'm up here. And so we do this show one night in the South. I'm not even going to say the name of the city because there may be a computer genius here that can get the footage of this. But we did a show one night, and it was not only hot, it was humid as rip. So 10 minutes in the show, I got sweat dripping off my nose onto the stage. 20 minutes in, looks like a wet t-shirt contest. By the end of it, I look like I've been sprayed with a fire hose. I've never sweated this much in my life. And we usually don't eat before a show because it makes you feel kind of sluggish, so we're always hungry, when we get off stage. So I get off stage that night, and I'm in the dressing room, and I'm just pounding Gatorade and water trying to rehydrate. And I hear Larry, the cable guy, come down the hall, and he slides into my dressing room. He's like, hey, let's go eat. And Larry says this a lot. And I usually go because it's fun to watch Larry eat. It's impressive. But I said, dude, not tonight. I said, I got too hot. I'm not hungry. I said, I'm just going back to the hotel and going to bed. He's like, yeah, right. Come on, let's go eat. I said, no, I'm not hungry. I got too hot. I'm not kidding with you. He goes, are you serious? He goes, I cannot wait till you ask me to do something for you. What are you, 9 years old? It's it's not personal. I got too hot. I'm not hungry. So I got in the van. I got them to take me back to the hotel and got in my room. And probably a lot of y'all make your living on the road. You have your little routine. When I'm on the road, I like it really dark when I sleep. I like it really cold, so I'll turn the thermostat down. But when you're doing stand-up, you're in a different city every night. Every hotel room is different than the day before. So one of my tricks is I always turn the light on in the bathroom, and I'll shut the door. But that way, if I wake up in the middle of the night and I have to go, I can see that light. I know that kind of orients me, and I know where I am. And I usually sleep in my underwear, but this night they're wet. My socks are wet. I've sweated that much, and I'm like, I'm not sleeping in wet underwear, and I told you I only packed 3 pairs, so I just peel them off, and I flop in the bed naked, and I'm out. Well, I wake up about 1:30 in the morning, and I really, really have to pee, probably from all the Gatorade and the water. And any guy over 40 knows what I'm talking about. You have to pee too much to go back to sleep. You know you can't go back to sleep, but you don't really want to wake up. You just want to get it done and get back in the bed. So I get up and got my eyes half open. I see the light, and I walk in there. Well, as soon as the door closes, I realize I'm in the hall of a really nice hotel without a stitch of clothes on. And you want to wake up in a hurry, forget coffee. This is the way to do it right here. So I'm trying to think through it. Well, Larry's room was right across the hall from mine. And I'm thinking, thank God, I run over there and I'm knocking on the door, and he's not answering, and all I can picture him peeking through the keyhole and laughing. But as I'm knocking on the door, I hear the elevator ding. And I'm like, okay, well, I got a 50-50 shot. They're either going to get off and go the other way, or they're going to get off and come towards me. And sure enough, these 2 Korean guys, they're talking with each other. They get off and they start walking right towards me. And I'm like, what do you do? What do you do? And I'm like, you act like nothing's up. That's what you do. So I start walking towards them. Literally past them in the hall. Hey, how you doing? And one of them said something, which I really hoped meant, wow, that was impressive. But when I looked it up on Translator, I found out it meant, did you see her mustache? So I know I can't get on the elevator. I know elevators have security cameras, and I'm thinking, where do I go? Well, at the end of the hall, they had that exit, for the stairwell, and I'm like, at least get out of the lighted hallway. So I jog down the rest of the hall, and I get in the stairwell, hoping there'll be like a trash can in there where I can take the trash bag out and wear it like overall. Get in the stairwell, no trash can, but at least I'm not in the lighted hallway. And as I'm trying to think through it, I noticed there's a couple of empty beer cans down in the corner. Well, the reason I got up in the first place was I had to pee. I have no idea how long I'm going to be locked out of my room, and I'm not proud of it, but I picked those cans up and I peed in them and I put them back. I felt horrible about it, but it was old Milwaukee, and I figure whoever cleans them up will go, yeah, that's old Milwaukee, all right. But it was a really nice hotel, and they had 24-hour room service. So my thought was, well, maybe somebody's left their room service tray outside their room, and I can get that big cloth napkin and wear it like a diaper, So I'm going down the stairwell, and every floor I'm opening the door and looking down the hall for a tray. And I get about 3 or 4 floors down. I hadn't found a tray yet, but somebody's left a couple of pizza boxes outside their room. Well, to me, it looks like a folded tuxedo sitting there. So I run down there, I get the pizza boxes, and I bring them back, and I go down the last 3 or 4 floors and never do find a room service tray. But by now, it's really late. It's like 2 in the morning, and I get to lobby level. Well, I can crack the door, and I can see almost the entire lobby. I don't see a soul. I don't hear anybody talking. I'm thinking, all you got to do is be brave for 20 seconds. I put 1 pizza box in the front, 1 in the back. Walk up to the desk, the lady's working there. As I go up, she looks up and she goes, can I help you? Yes, you can. I said, I have accidentally locked myself out of my room. Can I just get another key so I can get back in? She goes, do you have any identification? I said, I do, but it's in my other pizza box. I'm like, no, I locked myself out of my room. I got nothing. And she says, I need to talk to a manager. And she goes behind the wall, and I'm thinking, she's not calling a manager, she's calling the cops. But it's 2 a.m, I'm naked with a pizza box in front of my junk. Where am I going to go? Yeah, so they had a bellhop stand, like a podium, and I got behind that, and I'm just waiting on her. Well, as I'm waiting, all of a sudden the front doors to the hotel open up, and in walks Larry the Cable Guy and our tour manager. And I'm like, thank you, God, here's answered prayer. So they walk across the lobby. Again, I'm naked holding a pizza box. Larry does not say, oh my gosh, buddy, what happened to you? He looked at me, he looked at the pizza box, he goes, I thought you said you wasn't hungry. Just been sitting down here naked eating pepperoni in the lobby, you know. I said, I locked myself out of my room. Well, about that time, here comes the front desk lady back, and now she's got a security guard with her. I said, Larry, I need you to do me a giant favor. I said, tell her who I am so I can get a key and get back in my room. And he looked at me. He looked at her, he goes, I have never seen him before in my entire life. And he got on the elevator and rode up. Thankfully, the security guard started laughing. He recognized both of us. He was one of the nicest human beings I've ever met in my life. He got the magic key. He rode up the elevator with me and the pizza boxes, and we went down the hall. He let me in my room. I said, wait here. I went in and got my wallet. I gave him a $100 bill. I said, thank you so much. Please never tell anybody about this. And now I'm telling y'all for free. But I got back in my room, I put my sweatpants on, put a t-shirt on, made sure I had that room key in my pocket, and I waited about 10 minutes, and I walked back across the hall and knock on Larry's door. He opens the door, he's still laughing. He's like, he goes, I told you I couldn't wait until you asked me to do something for you. I said, all right, you got me. I said, are we even? He's like, yeah, we're even. I said, well, just to prove I don't have any hard feelings, I went and got you a beer. Thanks, y'all. God bless you. Thank you for being here.
I don't know why every time I get great tickets to a concert, I end up seated next to somebody who has to sing every song at the top of their lungs. A couple years ago, Simon and Garfunkel come to Atlanta. My wife wants to go. She's got a couple of friends that want to go. Well, my mother-in-law wants to go. My mother-in-law ended up seated next to me without her hearing aid. She sung every song as loud as she could, and she knew the words to none of them. Like a witch over Bubbles' daughter. Are you kidding me? I will grease your pine. Grease your pine. That's what you got out of that. I don't know why cats never throw up in the daytime. Cats wait till you're lying in bed, almost asleep, and then from somewhere in your home you hear Remind me to put my slippers on in the morning. And you do want to put your slippers on, because you find that with your bare foot, you don't need coffee, because you are awake and looking for a cat. Oh, and my wife, bless her heart, she has to clean it up every time. And it's not that I haven't tried. I have. It's just every time I get near it, I make the same noise as the cat makes. try to get smarter, you know. Like my wife and I try to watch those shows where you can learn something once in a while, like Dateline and those. And you know, on those shows, like almost every other week, they'll showcase some disease on there. I swear to you, week in, week out, no matter what the disease is, my wife will have it. I have it. I have every one of those symptoms. I'm like, you do not have testicular cancer. You don't even have testiculars. But they've made us medically paranoid. You know, when I was a kid, there was two kinds of medicine in the world. You had aspirin and camphophenique. Cured everything. Now there are so many drugs, they have to advertise the prescription drugs on television, and I swear to you, 9 times out of 10, the side effects are 50 times worse than whatever the drug is supposed to cure. They're like, try new Floraflor. For itchy, watery eyes, it's Floraflor. Side effects may include nausea, vomiting, water weight gain, lower back pain, receding hairline, eczema, seborrhea, psoriasis, itching, chafing clothing, liver spots, blood clots, ringworm, excessive body odor, uneven tire wear, pyorrhea, gonorrhea, diarrhea, halitosis, scoliosis, loss of bladder control, the shanks, warped floors, cluttered drawers, low resale value on your home, feline leukemia, head lice, clubfoot, MS, MD, VD, fleas, acne, anxiety, sleepiness, drowsiness, parvo warts, unibrow, lazy eye, fruit flies, chest pains, clogged drains, hemorrhoids, dry heaving, and sexual dysfunction. Hell, I'll just have itchy, watery eyes. And I love the Cialis commercial. They tell you on the Cialis commercial, if their product does what it is supposed to do for more than 4 continuous hours, you should go to the hospital. I might go to the hospital, but I'm going to be wearing that little gown they give you backwards and walk in the halls, baby. How you doing? Who's got a flag? You want to hang that coat up? Come on.